Hey peeps, it's Nox, and we are here for a late night WIP and Chat. Few things before we get started. If you haven't seen one of my videos, then you should know that I have a neuropathy in my hands, so sometimes they hurt and I gotta stretch them out, sometimes crack my knuckles. I'm not making funny hand motions, just trying to get out all the kinks. Also, if you haven't noticed, I think some bolts are loose on my table, so it's a little wobbly tonight. I need to pull it out and fix it. I hope you'll bear with me tonight, though. I do have several people living in my house, but it is a late night WIP and Chat, so there's a good chance most everybody's asleep, or at least doing their own thing. We are night owls here, but if somebody knocks at the door, well, you get a chance to say hi. If not, then no big deal. Lastly, you should know, and very importantly, that my channel supports LGBTQIA+, Black Lives Matter, neurodiversity, body positivity, freedom of religion, including the freedom to have no religion, and inclusiveness in general. If you have a problem with that, I'm going to ask you to not like, not comment, or and not subscribe. Just please go find a different channel. Otherwise, welcome to Punks and Crafts. I want to start off by fair warning you that I am not going to be as upbeat for this WIP and Chat. So if you're looking for something a little more fun, my video is probably not the one to watch right now. I've actually been putting off doing this WIP and Chat, which if you are new to diamond painting or crafting in general and don't know what a WIP and Chat is, WIP stands for work in progress. It's where I'm going to sit here and do my work in progress, which currently is Sleeping Fox from Diamond Art Club by Christine Karen. I'm also going to be heavy on the ums. I'm having a bad pain day and my brain fog is pretty heavy. So now that you're caught up on what a WIP and Chat is, you can either watch the video, check out how I diamond paint, or you can pull out whatever it is you are working on, be it a craft project, cooking, cleaning, exercising, whatever it is you're wanting to be doing, and just listen to me ramble on in the background. So I'm going to start off by covering a couple topics. The first being that I'm probably going to explain why I'm working on Sleeping Fox and not Rococo Dream, which I did start my channel with and have not really shown you guys much of unless you follow me on Instagram, which, if you don't, my information will be down below. Come check out my account, small plug. The reason I'm not working on Rococo Dream is, to be honest, it's a mess. I love Diamond Art Club. I've done, several of their canvases in both rounds and squares, and bright colors, muted colors, confetti, color blocking, all of it, and I have never had much of a problem. I had a small problem with Young Green Sea Turtle, and then it had what I considered at the time a fair amount of trash for Diamond Art Club, but Rococo Dream is putting that one to shame. It has the most trash drills of any diamond art I have ever done, and that includes some poor quality ones. Now, the drills that are good quality are great quality, but I'm having to pick around them so much that I'm spending a good third of my time on quality control, and it's a lot of work and less stress relief, which I don't mind doing, but it was bad timing. I had a couple other things going, and I feel like my diamond painting has been kind of cursed right now. I had got this large 105 centimeter by 70 centimeter diamond painting of a really cool cityscape scene that my boyfriend bought me back in August, I believe. And I started diamond painting in March or April, and still trying to figure out good places to buy diamond paintings from. I had done some online research and found lists of top companies that were trustworthy, and so I thought I found a good one. And we purchased this. It was expensive, and I have been holding on to it because I also got another larger one that would work perfectly for the Drills and Chills event. So I held off doing my the large one my boyfriend got me, which was an early birthday present, if I haven't already mentioned, and did the canvas I did for Drills and Chills instead. And then it became, I also got this Randall Spangler one from Diamond Art Club that was the hot cocoa cauldron one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I do a lot of the Randall Spanglers for my mother. I've grabbed one for myself. I haven't put it together yet, but most of the ones, if you see me do them on the channel, are actually ones I'm putting together for her. And I wanted to get it to her before Halloween, with it being, the tough COVID year that everybody's suffering through. And Halloween's one of my family's favorite holidays, and we pretty much had to cancel for safety reasons. So I just wanted to bring some joy. So that led me to putting off my large canvas again. And then there were holiday presents to get done, and my birthday blew past and I didn't get a chance to work on my birthday present, but that's cool. It gave me time to buy some fancy enhancements from DP with Sparklers, which I will, if I remember, I will try to link below. So I was excited. I kept getting more excited, but also just more and more canvases and events. There was, winter with DAC, and finally I was like, okay, the first of the year, there's no events that I feel like participating in other than Life with Lindsay's Alice event, Alice in a Winter Wonderland. And I'm like, my boyfriend got me another canvas for that one, but it was a little bit smaller. I think it's like a 55 by 60 or 50 by 65. I again don't remember exactly, but I got it in round so I could do it quicker, and that turned into a hot mess of realizing that the one that we got was stolen artwork. So I hunted down the artist for that one and got her permission to use the art. I offered to pay her, but she declined that, which I can understand. It's kind of complicated to accept a payment from something you didn't intend to sell in the first place, like logistically speaking. But I helped her I gave her all the information from the seller and whatnot so that she could get her art taken down, and I got her permission to post any progress I made on Instagram, obviously with the stipulation that I don't tell her where I got it from, so she's not losing more to the seller. So I was like, cool, I'll do that and pump that out, and then I'll get started on my birthday gift that I've been waiting for months and months and months to do. And I was thinking about starting this YouTube channel, so I thought I could do them at the same time. And then the whole debacle with Paint with Diamonds, stealing artwork and hiring other artists to mimic artwork they weren't allowed to have. And guess where my big birthday present canvas is from? It's Paint with Diamonds. Now, I'm not going to buy from them anymore, but I'm not going to waste a canvas that we already spent, I think, $80 on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. But to keep drama low, I opted to do that on the side and do my own project, or do a different project on the YouTube channel. The first problem that showed up was the fact that after all of the effort to get my Alice themed canvas to be something I could do, it turned into something that was so terrible quality that it was just so stressful. These rounds were taking me as long to do as squares. It is probably some of the most confetti I've ever had to do. Round drills are popping so bad. One literally flew and pinged my glasses. It just popped right off the canvas, and I've never had one fly off the canvas before. So I was going to call that one a loss and throw it in the trash. And that one was making me really sad because I really wanted to do the event. I really loved the art on the canvas. I'm not going to put a picture of that up because I only got permission for Instagram. I haven't asked if I could put that on YouTube. I can, however, link the artist page to her own shop down below. I would suggest checking out her artwork. She's got some really gorgeous stuff. But, so I hung it up and put it in the closet. I figured I'd give it some time, think about it, de-stress from that before deciding to literally put it in the garbage. And, I started the cityscape that I was talking about, and I kitted up Rococo Dream in the Kit and Chat for my very first video for my channel. I don't normally work on multiple projects at once. I'm a one project at a time person, especially since I don't do well with snack-sized diamond paintings. They don't hold my attention well. I totally get their merit for being cool downs, or even the one and onlys for other people, but for some reason, every time I work on one, I can't connect to it, and I don't relax. I don't enjoy what I'm doing. Even if I enjoy the end product, I just don't enjoy what I'm doing. So about 40 by 50 is about the smallest diamond painting you'll usually see me work on, unless I have a good reason to go outside of that. So working on multiple large canvases is a little overwhelming, and I don't want to do that. But in this case, I really wanted to put my Paint with Diamonds together, and I really wanted to start my YouTube channel, especially since Miss Coffee was doing her WIP and Chat challenge, and I wanted to get my video in for that. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I can do 2. It'll be great. So I start Rococo Dream. I'm working on the Paint with Diamonds in the background, in between videos, and it turns out even if Paint with Diamonds wasn't having all of these issues with artists and, us needing to boycott for that purpose, I wouldn't be buying from them anyways, because that is terrible quality. $80 canvas. I didn't spend that on the old shoe house, and it's the exact same size canvas. And it's crap. I got it in squares. I'm kind of wishing I'd gotten it rounds. I didn't know. I prefer squares, but I didn't know at the time that it could be easier to put a bad canvas together in rounds than squares. I was just going for my favorite drill type and what I was aiming for image quality. I'm still going to put it together, but it is going to be slow going. I'll probably be picking up at that in the background all year long. So I was like, okay, well, I've got Rococo, and then it was bugging me because I'm like, I really wanted to do this Alice event, and I finally calmed down and got over my anger. So I was like, I'll work on Alice in the background. And so I pulled it back out and I'm trying to work on it, and it's slow going. I'm trying to work on Rococo, which should be my stress relief canvas. But with all of the trash, which I'll put up a picture. The picture I took is the amount of trash I've accumulated, having accomplished maybe a third to a half of the canvas. And I know some of those probably from the picture don't look like trash, but they've got a lot of little tabs, little, like some of them are just different sizes than the rest of the drills around them. So even though they look good, they don't look good compared to the rest of them. And certain colors obviously are worse than others, but it's in most of the colors that I'm having problems. I've already contacted Diamond Art Club about it. I've actually had to have them send me some more 310s because I can't work with them. I actually finished one half of the canvas and was about to turn it around and start on the other half of the canvas, because I start in this corner. You can see I've got this parchment paper. I have that in 3 sections. So up here in the corner over there, and then off to my side over here. And then this one I will use, hold on. I'll use these release papers to cover so I can work in sections at a time. And then when I'm done with this quadrant, I will rotate it sideways and work on this top quadrant, and then I'll rotate it upside down. So everything's always going to be in this frame because I only have so much workspace. I mean, I think I have more than some, but still for the size canvases I have, it's not a lot. So I'm sorry about that. I rotate my canvas around clockwise. And I was about to rotate and work on the other side, and I realized the other half of Rococo Dream is a good portion 310s, and I was already struggling with these 310s. So I'm having to put it on hold until I get more 310s. And I put Alice on hold again because I went to Diamond Paint the other night, and I got myself all set up at my table, and my boyfriend comes and knocks on my door. We live together, but we don't share a room, and my craft room's in my bedroom. And he comes in just to see me staring blankly at my canvas. And I realized I had become so stressed and overwhelmed that I didn't want to diamond paint. And I diamond paint every day. I'm a stay-at-home parent, and I am disabled. And it's one of the few things I can actually put a fair amount of time into. It still causes me pain, but it causes me more relief, mental health relief, than it does physical pain. So I'm able to push through it, but I got to the point where I was so stressed out by all these different canvases not working that I just was shutting down, and I wasn't getting any stress relief anywhere else. And right now I really need the stress relief, which I will get to here in a little bit. So he convinced me to kit up yet another canvas, and I did need convincing because I already had 3 canvases going, and I don't do that, and I felt silly for doing it. In its own way, it was also kind of stressful knowing there would be that many canvases going, but he convinced me to try to do, I pulled out one of my other Diamond Art Clubs because generally I know their quality is usually good, and I grabbed a round so it'd go quicker for me, and something with bright colors because I'm working on a lot of muted colors right now. My Alice is all blues and grays. Rococo is pretty much grays and browns with a little bit of pink. And my cityscape is a nighttime image. So not a lot of, I mean, there's areas with bright color, but it's not a brightly colored scene. So I pulled out my GymFlow app and, you know, had it show me everything I had in round, and picked Sleeping Fox as the one that looked like something cute and bright and stress relieving. And it's working so far. Although I will say my curse continues to Sleeping Fox. The canvas is fine. The rendering so far is fine. There's confetti, but it's a good kind of confetti. It's a good mix. But for some reason, a lot of the drills have this powdery stuff all over them. I don't know what it is. I've never seen it before. I'm sure other people have. It comes right off. I usually can place all my drills and then take a toothbrush to the canvas. It all comes off and everything's bright and sparkly. And not all of the drills have this powdery stuff. The only downside to it is that it gets in the wax and starts coating this. And so I'm having to stir up the wax and reflatten it. I'm having to replace the wax and the single placer. It might help if I shake this out, huh? It's a minor problem. Honestly, it's not discouraging me, but it was a little like, well, the curse continues. I'm starting to think it's me and not Diamond Art Club. But anyway, so that's why I'm working on Sleeping Fox. Long story long. But also, I think I've also a little bit cursed, not just with the diamond paintings themselves, but I've put one time lapse of Rococo Dream up, but I had some requests for a time lapse of the woman's face and the carousel in her hair, and that is a large section to do the two all in one grouping. I work in small sections, and then I work at several sections a day, but I work in these smaller groupings, anything that takes me roughly 45 minutes to an hour, because then I can complete something, and then that reminds me to get up and move. Otherwise, I'll just sit here and diamond paint until my back seizes up or my hands give out. And then I can only get like half the diamond painting in because it's hard to recover at that point. But I decided, I was like, it was requested. It's just one portion of the canvas. I only have to do it the one time. So I sat down, got everything set up, and I recorded this huge section of Rococo Dream. It took me 4 hours to complete. I did get up and take some breaks anyways, but the video itself was paused during those times. And it was coming out great. I wasn't having like a lot of mishaps of spilling my drills everywhere or anything I was afraid of happening in a 4-hour video. And then I went to edit it and found the entire file had corrupted. So it was garbage. And it's not something you can redo because, well, it's already on there. I'm not going to scrape all those drills off just to redo the time lapse. So the only thing I could think of is my phone didn't really like saving a 4-hour long video. So next time I've learned, and we'll do it in hour-long chunks and just splice them together. But that it blew royally, honestly. So I thought I was doing something fun there, and it wasn't fun. I mean, honestly, it wasn't fun for me. I was in a lot of pain by the time it was over with. But I figured it may have a neat effect, and I was looking forward to doing the video. That seemed fun, like editing it out and picking out some cool music to go with it, and so on and so forth. And I know my other time lapse didn't get a ton of views, but I know some people who really like it, and I'm not all here for the views. I mean, I'm somewhat here for the views. I'm doing YouTube because I like interacting with people and sharing what I'm doing, and if nobody's watching my stuff, then I'm not really sharing anything. But it's also not all I'm about. So if a few people like my video, it was still worth it. I still feel like I'm sharing with people. But that was discouraging. The canvases have been discouraging. This one's better. Even with its little weird powdery blip, it's better. But I still found myself really avoiding another WIP and Chat, and it's not because I didn't feel like I could do a WIP and Chat. I actually, I know there were some people who were nervous to do an hour-long WIP and Chat, or especially some of the newer YouTubers like me who are, nervous to do it as their first video. And in all honesty, I couldn't have pictured my first video being anything other than a WIP and Chat. And an hour seemed, well, I ramble a lot. I'll be lucky if this video is not an hour and a half. I actually thought I would, just telling you about Sleeping Fox would be a quick 5-minute blip at the beginning of the video, and I just now finished telling you about why I'm doing this. But, I've been avoiding doing the WIP and Chat because I've been severely depressed, and it's a new channel. I wanted to really give you guys a chance to get to know the fun version of me before having to deal with the anxious, depressed version of me. Because while I'm always anxious and depressed, the fun version is still usually the forefront. I've had anxiety and depression as long as I can remember, so I've learned to cope with it, and it's not even a matter of hiding it. I've just kind of learned to be depressed and happy at the same time. But things didn't line up that way, and I got hit with the depression early in my channel, like early on in its birth, and I was trying to push through and not subject people to that too soon. But realistically speaking, if you guys have subscribed to my channel, I'm sure some of you have subscribed only for unboxings or other things that I talked about doing, or just to be nice because you're going through all of Miss Coffee's WIP and Chat challenge. But I would presume that actually more people subscribe to my channel because of a similar reason I subscribe to people's channels, is the chance to get all of your diamond painting fix and also have a person on the other side. I mean, COVID is so isolating for most of us, and diamond painting, the community that it came with, has really, well, I know it's kind of really saved my sanity, and watching other people's videos and reading their posts online, I really feel like a lot of people feel the same. And also, I really feel like if you are not looking to get realism out of your YouTuber, you'll stick to the ones that just kind of say what they're there to say and move on. And there's plenty of those, so I strongly encourage you, if that's what you need, then either, I can try and point you in their direction if you like, or, don't watch my WIP and Chats. Try to stick with the shorter 15-20 minute videos where I'm opening things, or, we had the pen stash collection. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And I think that's part of what made me realize, though, is those of you sitting here watching this WIP and Chat or any other future WIP and Chats I'm going to put out, you're here to have some sort of human connection. And human connection comes with bad and good. And I come with bad and good. I can be a lot of fun. I can be goofy, and my humor is frequently morbid and raunchy, but also light and cute because I decided a long time ago I didn't have to decide to be any one thing. I was just going to try to be everything that sounded fun and interesting. And right now, we've got the bad. Right now, everything, the smallest thing is overwhelming to me. I'm struggling to do very basic adulting. I'm melancholy and bored and restless a lot. I'm surfing the internet for something to drag me out of my head, because in my head all I can think of is... Sorry. In my head all I can think of is how much I hurt and how much of my life that is destroying. I've always had some medical conditions. I mentioned briefly in my kitten chat that I was born with a hip condition in my right hip, and I didn't have a hip socket develop in my right hip, and I had to have surgery at 6 years old to correct it, or I was going to be wheelchair bound. And even with the surgery, there was no guarantee that I wouldn't still spend time in a wheelchair. In fact, best case scenario still predicted me spending years on crutches, or a year on crutches and years with a cane. And I pushed through, and I did better than that. I actually, I spent weeks on crutches, or a week. I don't remember. I never went with a cane. I mean, I've used some for support during hiking, but not for just day to day. I mean, not to say I never struggled, but it was a much larger success than anyone expected. So while I did have medical issues from an early age, they weren't dictating my life. But I think it was about 10 years ago, I started getting really sick. I kept getting dizzy. I kept almost passing out. I was tired all the time. And I went in for so many tests to figure out what was wrong with me. I was on so many different medicines. Everybody always thought they had the answer, and then they'd correct it, and then it would help for a few days, or if I was lucky, a couple weeks, and then I'd start collapsing again. And I had 2 small children at this time. I had a friend who had to come over every day of the week while my now ex-husband was at work. Then not ex, but we couldn't figure out what was wrong. It took 2.5 years of me being sick before they realized that my left ovary was the size of a melon and full of liquid, and luckily was non-cancerous. But I had to go in for surgery, have it removed. We thought I'd start getting better, and I kind of did for a little bit. And then because I had experienced so many hormonal problems for so long with this, I developed fibromyalgia. Well, I mean, I probably already had it, but it was very mild and manageable. And it became not mild and not terribly manageable. And then that reduced mobility and functionality. Again, very unpleasant thing to go through in general, but definitely when you're supposed to be raising 2 small children. And both my children are special needs. My oldest was less... how do I phrase it? The specific needs were not too different from a neurotypical at the time, but still there. My youngest very much needed quite a bit of assistance for delayed communications and a lot of things that come in with that. Like, he was in diapers for much longer than we anticipated. He had sensory meltdowns, still has sensory meltdowns, and we didn't know why at the time. We found out, actually during the course of all of this, we found out that he's autistic, and then much later found out my oldest is autistic, and then found out after that that I was autistic. So that was interesting and fun, but I was struggling with being a very reasonably active human being with 2 small kids to being sedentary, and realizing while they could start to somewhat manage my symptoms, they were never going to cure them. I was never going to get better. And then I started getting even worse, even faster. And now we're finding out that my hip, we knew had an expiration date on it. I was going to need more surgery on it. And it's actually lasted longer than we expected. But I think we were so distracted by the other medical conditions that me and my doctors didn't notice how quickly it started failing. And until it had trashed my spine, because whatever's going on with it has caused my femur, so the thigh bone, to move up into my body, which is what it did the first time. And so my leg is now an inch shorter than it used to be. And it's caused me bone spurs, scoliosis, degenerating discs, arthritis. My spine from tailbone to neck is a mess. And that is more debilitating than the fibro. And so I watched more of my life kind of get stripped away from me. I'm not saying I was out like jogging, that kind of active lifestyle, but, I did like hiking. I used to go to the gym a lot. I used to go dancing with my friends. I had no problems chasing after two kids. I had jobs all the time where I was on my feet, and it wore me out. It wasn't impossible to do like it is now. And I had a lot of hobbies too. Like, I like cooking. I was picking up confections. I was actually trying to open my own truffle business there for a while. And everything just became gradually harder and harder, and I got to where I could do less and less, to the point where even things like video games, I was an avid video game player, but I can't focus on them. My hands hurt real fast, holding the controller, even with like compression gloves and things like that. I haven't stopped video gaming, but it's not something I can do very often. I actually bought a whole bunch of video games, waiting for the time to come when my brain would, acclimate to what was happening to me and refocus, and it hasn't happened yet. And so I have all these games that I own but have never played. I have all these hobbies I've picked up pieces for and don't do. I adore diamond painting for the fact that I tried it. I was like, I need something. And I was like, I'm not even sure I can do this. My very first diamond painting I got off Amazon. So the 30 by 40. And it took me 2 months to do. Not even because of the pain. I just wasn't used to doing it, so I didn't sit down for very much time. I usually only work in like 30-minute stints, and not every day. So it took me 2 months to put together, but towards the end, I started really finding a stride with it. and realizing it was a hobby I could continue with. Even then, I was very slow to get into it because I was afraid I was going to have to give it up. And I need a quick water break. I apologize. All right. So I didn't want to buy too many accessories. I didn't want to buy too many diamond paintings. I was kind of on a finish one, and then I'm allowed to purchase another if I still feel like doing it. I sometimes disconnect to things. I think it's part of my autism. I will hyperfixate, and that hyperfixation can last weeks. It could last years. Some things I never stopped hyperfixating on. Most others I will eventually stop hyperfixating on, and when I do, it is like a cold shower. I go from my whole life being about this thing to not, I could care less about doing it. And I was a little afraid that was what diamond painting is going to be. To be honest, I'm still afraid because I've been doing it for almost a year. But like I said, sometimes my hyperfixation can last years and then it wears off. I don't have warning about it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I love this hobby enough, more than enough, to just allow myself to hyperfixate. I have a reasonably large stash. Partly because I also, money is iffy as to when I'll have it or when I won't have it. So I went ahead and allowed myself to collect a stash with, like stimulus money and little bits that I managed to save up here and there. And, Cecil is a good friend of mine. But it's in case, that way I've got plenty to do from my stash if I don't have funds for a while. I'm not ones that's usually for large collections of things like that, but in this case it prudently made sense to me. What doesn't prudently make sense is my growing collection of accessories that I don't necessarily need, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. But yeah, so the spine problems that I was talking about, they cause the neuropathy in my hands. They cause worse neuropathy in my legs and feet. So I don't walk much. On bad days, I actually do have to use a wheelchair. And as we had figured out it was my hip, technically I could get my hip surgery. I could then get some treatments to try to correct the scoliosis in my spine, deal with the pain from swelling and misplacement of certain discs. And while I wouldn't be 100%, I could be a lot better, but then COVID happened, and surgeries are complicated now. I've already had to have one during COVID because I had to have a hysterectomy, and it couldn't wait for COVID to be done. I was literally losing all the nutrients. Well, not all the nutrients, but important nutrients I needed to keep in my body because they insisted on leaving my body at rapid and painful rates. So I had to have that surgery. I don't have to have the hip surgery, so it waits because they need their hospital space. It's a high risk for me. Any surgery lowers your immune system for a time. Plus, puts me in a hospital where there are COVID patients, maybe not in the same areas, but it's a risk. And it's a risk that most hospitals try to save for those who just absolutely need it. Whereas I can stay relatively sedentary and not aggravate things worse until this gets to a safer place. The treatments for my back were, frequently involving steroids, which lower your immune system. Not something we want to do right now. There's a lot of legislation around painkillers, and I'm not much for wanting to take a lot of pills, but sometimes you reach a point in your life where you're not given much of a choice, and now I'm at that stage in my life and I can't get a lot of the pain relief that I need because of these political issues, and I'm not going to go too heavily into that. But a lot of it is soul-sucking, for lack of a better word. I know it sounds melodramatic, but it's how it feels too. And I try to soldier through as best I can. I'm not soldiering through right now. We've been having a lot of stormy weather here. I'm in New Mexico. I think a lot of the country actually has like snow or high winds, things like that. All of those aggravate my pain. I've not been terribly functional. Even diamond painting's been hard for me. And then having all the stressful canvas debacles and YouTube video corrupting issues and whatnot, it's not been helping. And it's been hard to want to do most anything that I normally do because of this. It's very isolating. I mean, I didn't need COVID to feel isolated. I felt isolated before. And maybe that's partly why I want to do the YouTube stuff too, is just, I know it's just me in here talking to myself, but it really doesn't feel like it to me. I've never felt from, my first video like I was talking to myself. I always feel like there's somebody on the other side that's going to hear me, and I don't always feel like that, prior to this, even though I am surrounded by some very supportive people in my life. When you deal with chronic issues, and I've been dealing with these for over 10 years now, eventually it's going to be natural that it becomes white noise. It's something everyone deals with every day, and if they had to be on high alert or even high empathy, that would be draining. It's draining for me. It would be draining for them. But even understanding it doesn't make it easier to know that the people around you are tuning you out when you're miserable. And I've been feeling a lot like that lately. And it's not even triggered. Like, nobody's doing anything wrong. But my mind doesn't want to white noise things right now. And I kind of wish it would. So I finally decided to stop waiting for the better mood to talk to you guys and just let you guys see me. Like, this is not going to be me every WIP and Chat. Hopefully it's not going to be me very many WIP and Chats. But I realize not only is it not fair to you guys to make you wait forever for videos, especially when I've got a brand new channel. It's going to be hard to keep interest on somebody who disappears early on. But I need this. I need to sit here and feel like I've got someone to talk to. Even if all I'm doing is talking and then you watch it later. I mean, even if nobody watches it later, but I'm sure somebody will, but I still need the outlet. I still needed to talk about what was on my mind and stop putting off interacting with other people, other humans. And I don't know, I think I sometimes judge myself on behalf of other people. I think a lot of people do that. Decide what everyone will think of you before they even have a chance to make up their own mind. And I was convincing myself that nobody was going to want to listen to my belly aching and my mopey sadness, especially this early in my YouTube life, career. It's not really a career, but I don't have a good word right now. But realistically, I should let you guys decide what you do and don't want to be listening to. And if you don't, then like I said before, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't want to watch this video. You're not going to hurt my feelings for needing something more upbeat or to the point or anything, whatever it is you're needing. But it wasn't fair of me to make that decision for everybody ahead of time. So, yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me and why I've been a little MIA. But the good news is we've got some exciting things coming up. Admittedly, I'm still shaking the table horribly, sorry. I'm still working some kinks out with figuring out editing and lighting and... Oh, I have a lot more of these than I realized. It's, this is all brand new stuff to me. I didn't do anything remotely similar to YouTube videos. Like, the closest thing I have done is I used to be a photo lab technician. So I'm somewhat okay at like photo editing, but even that, like, I'm not like Photoshop, like I'm not trained with Photoshop. I'm just good at making my photos look a little bit better, and even then I only have like my little editors on my phone, and it's not the same thing as what I was trained to use. Excuse me, I need a little bit more water. I've got a dry mouth from my medicine. So, I'm learning all of this, and I'm probably going to have some more wonky videos where I didn't record something right, or sound is off, or lighting's off, or something comes out grainy or shaky. You know, I'm going to post it all. You guys are going to be there with me while I learn how to do YouTube. And it'll be fun, you know. I said in my kit and chat that I wanted to learn new hobbies, and I wasn't afraid to let you guys see me struggle through them, and I consider doing YouTube a new hobby, so I'm not afraid to, you know, let you guys see me stroke that together. But I do have some new canvases waiting to be unboxed. Been trying to get my lighting situation figured out. I've got okay lighting for WIP and chats and small unboxings, large unboxings. The spaces that I have to work in don't have as good a lighting, and my camera likes to turn grainy because of it. And so I'm trying to get that situation set up, but I think I've got some solutions, so hopefully those should be going up pretty soon. I have a crate from KiwiCo. I figured that was something recommended by Lindsay in her videos, which, if I remember, I will try to link her as well so you can catch the KiwiCo videos. I will definitely do so in my unboxing. But I mentioned in my kit and chat that I wanted to start showing you guys different, like, subscription boxes or kit boxes that you can buy. Get, you know, advice from you guys, what you guys want to see. And I was going to do videos of me putting them together in a sense of, well, it's nice to watch someone who knows what they're doing in these videos because you can get their expertise, their knowledge. I still strongly suggest finding these people. Sometimes it's also overwhelming. They sometimes move too fast. And then sometimes when your product doesn't come out the same as theirs, it can make you feel like you kind of suck at this. And honestly, most people are going to suck at the things the first time they try it. That's just the way of things, and that's okay. So sometimes when you get to watch a video of someone going through the struggles of learning, it's you still learn things because you can see things they did that worked, things they did that definitely did not work, and possibly even why. So you're not just hearing, do this way, but you now know why this has to function this way because you watched it fail spectacularly doing it the other way. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. But you also can just feel like you're on the same level with the person you're watching if you are also new at it. It can be less discouraging to see somebody begin something with you or just slightly ahead of you if it's something you're just considering doing. And also gives you an idea how easy or difficult these boxes are for somebody who doesn't have prior experience. I mean, there are some of these boxes that are probably really easy to do if you already know what you're doing and are horrendously hard if you don't. And I don't want to know how easy it is if you already know what you're doing. I want to know how easy it is if you have not had the first faintest clue what you're doing. And so having still a small following on both Instagram and YouTube, have decided to go ahead and pick the first box myself, whereas later I would actually prefer other people's inputs and suggestions or things they've tried. It doesn't always have to be subscription boxes, but like pre-made kits. Like when I was I believe 11 or 12, my father, who is he passed away a while ago, but Cherokee Apache, he wanted me to learn some different native arts. Unfortunately, he was adopted when he was a toddler, and so we didn't really have a lot of exposure to our own culture. And Cherokee Apache they don't have a reservation. They're actually referred to as the Lost Tribe. And so we kind of just picked, random stuff at, I think it was Tandy Leather or someplace like Tandy Leather. And they had a kit for how to make dream catchers. And that's the kind of thing, like, there weren't really subscription boxes when I was that age, but that pre-made kit gave me the basics for how to do that. And then I ended up making dream catchers for years. I don't really do that as much anymore. They're kind of overpopularized. The meaning behind them is, to be fair, dream catchers only really started as belonging to one tribe. I don't remember what tribe it was. And there's something akin to baby mobiles, honestly, from what I've heard. I may be wrong, but I believe that's the correct information. And now they are tourist doodads. I mean, at least here in New Mexico, they're all over the place. They don't mean as much anymore. I did it because I could really put art into it, and I felt like I was really creating something interesting and beautiful, and now I feel lost in the crowd, so I just don't do those anymore. And I want to do other kits like that, and I would really, again, like people's input on things they like to do or things they're considering doing, but don't really want to try until, they know if it's worth it or not. But this first one from KiwiCo, while I took the recommendation for the company from Lindsay, I decided to go with a different box. That way we're kind of covering more bases between the two of us. So I will not really say much more than that because I want to put that in its own unboxing video, but that hopefully should be in this weekend. So there should be a video up about or the unboxing of that either this weekend or early next week. And then I'll do another video of me actually putting the kit together, and we'll see if it goes smooth or if it's a dumpster fire. Either which way, I think we'll have fun with it. But yeah, between it and some unboxings and new canvases and me deciding not to hide from the WIP and chats because of my moods, hopefully I should be able to keep up with the content a little bit more. I mean, I'm going to have some bad times. I've got mental and physical health conditions that will interfere with me posting. That's part of the reason I didn't create a schedule. I didn't want to promise something that I couldn't keep up with. So there are probably going to be weeks where I had more energy and more to do and more excitement and more in my bank account. So I was able to buy more things to show you guys. And so you'll get a lot of videos, and then other weeks where I had trouble getting out of bed and or I'm broke. So there really wasn't a lot to show. Although I'm still going to do what I mentioned in my kit and chat, the re-unboxings. I have kits in my stash that they've been unboxed 1,000 times. They've been out for a while. I've already opened them. Most of them are Diamond Art Club. But as there's such a huge following for Diamond Art Club, not as worried about that. And as everybody knows generally what kind of quality to expect from them, it's not as big a deal that it's already been opened, because we're not like wondering if they've skipped out on toolkits or things like that. I can tell you that I've opened almost everything that I've gotten, and I've never once had anything missing. So that won't be the issue. The whole point of it is there's still a lot of people who are buying kits that have been up for a while or considering buying them, and they want to put like special drills in there that don't come with the kit, or they just really want to see the rendering in person, because sometimes what you get on the canvas, it hits different than what you can see in the rendering on the website. And the videos on YouTube are sometimes so old that they're hard to find again. Even if they're prolific, they're buried. So I kind of want to move it back up to the top of the queue. And, I might put on my Instagram ahead of time of which re-unboxing is coming up, if I have the forethought to do so or the ability to know ahead of time. So you guys can ask questions before I do the video and I can specifically answer them, like, which DMC number is specifically on this person's eyelids or something like that. That way I can answer that, and you know what specialty drill to buy, or focus on this error that people think they have been hearing about, or whatever it is that people might be wanting to know about canvases that have already been out for a while. So while it may not be exciting for everybody, and I will label a re-unboxing as something separate than just an unboxing. But so even when I'm broke, there's still going to be some things to unbox because of those re-unboxings. And there's always going to be something to unbox, because even when I don't have much money, I still have enough for small things like trays and other little doodads. I like collecting different waxes, not for the different scents. I actually can't do very many scents because I have a mix of allergies and heavy scent sensitivities. My autism comes with a lot of hypersensitivities, and smell is one of them. So even if I happen to not be allergic to that particular scent, I smell it so strongly that I get these horrible migraines. So I don't get very much scented stuff. I even got some samples of things that are scents I normally can handle. Like I got a coffee scented sample, I think from StarkeNonsense, and it smelled great. And I thought it was going to be mild, and coffee doesn't bug me. But just sitting there smelling it nonstop while I diamond painted, I ended up getting the migraine anyways. I've actually got a wax I'm using right now that's strawberry scented. It's the sample, but I actually bought a brick of it too, because this one somehow does not bother me. So I got plenty of it, but I like trying out different things. I've bought putties, I've bought gels, I've bought, I bought stuff from Patty Wax. I like collecting different things to try out. So when somebody asks me, hey, does this work? I can answer you honestly. And I like trying them in different fashions because sometimes what, like I like that wax I just showed you in my single placer. I don't like it in my multi-placer as much. But I do like it in the multi-placer more than I liked the patty wax in my multi-placer. Except for the super, well, I didn't put the super sticky in the multi-placer, but I like the super sticky in the single placer, but I get more residue than I do from this one. And there's just a lot of different things to tell by trying them different ways. That's probably why there's, let's see if I can show you real quick. I've got like a ton of different tools chilling out on my desk. If you can see around the lamp, sorry about that. Different pens laying around here. I've actually cleaned up recently. It's usually much worse. But I've got different multi-placers. This just has the Diamond Art Club pink wax. That's the best one I found for my multi-placers so far. I'm still trying other things out, but I've got different size multi-placers, so I don't have to swipe them out. I have different amounts of wax and different tips. So like this one's the one I'm currently using the most for this diamond painting. So it's got the fresh wax packed the way I need for single placing. This one actually has old, like deep in there wax because I use it for shifting drills around on the canvas. It doesn't get residue on the drills, but there's enough wax in there that the metal doesn't leave little rings from the pressure. I've got another pen with a straightener out here. I've got this one from Filament Fanatic because trying it out. She sent me the pen to get my opinion on how comfortable it was and how well it functioned. I bought the pen tip because she made these new designs and I thought it looked interesting and I wanted to see how a filament pen tip held up. And, how easy it is to get wax in and out and whether it would start warping or not, if it was sturdy enough, those kinds of things. So I've got it on here. I have to adjust to it. It's honestly extremely lightweight. It's thicker than my other pens, but it's so lightweight that sometimes it messes me up. And that's entirely on me. That's nothing wrong with the pen. It's my hands being used to the weightier pens. But so I can't use this all the time. And why I didn't use it in the WIP and Chat because I didn't want to be fumbling around in the WIP and Chat, at least this time. I'll fumble in another one. But I also have, is this the one? No, this wasn't the one. I have one with a placer in it that has the putty that I got. And because sometimes I like to try it on different types of drills, like ABs or whatnot, to see if it functions differently. The putty so far, from what I found, while leaving absolutely no residue, also isn't terribly sticky. So you have to be very meticulous with how you pick up your drills to get them to hold. Because I think it functions more on suction than it does on sticky. So if you don't give it a chance to get that grip and you have to move everything very delicately, I would not recommend putty to anybody who's heavy-handed. And even then, sometimes drills just fall off before you can get it where you're going. But it's still interesting to know. So those little things I do collect and we'll be opening up on the channel and giving my reviews of. And then I'll also be doing post reviews of the different canvases that I've worked on. I also do a lot of updates on Instagram. I try to do daily progress photos if you want to see how the picture's coming out. I usually make any little comments that I might be having in my mind, like this area was heavy confetti, or the problem with the drills with Rococo, different things like that. It's a chance to maybe get those updates before I do my next video if it's something you're wanting to follow. I'll also put on Instagram when I'm gonna put when I've put videos up, or any events I might be planning in the future. I'm already gonna do a giveaway when I reach my first 100 subscribers. I've already collected some stuff for that. I actually have a prize already put off to the side. I think I'll do it either at 200 or 250 subscribers. But, you know, little things like that. I think I was going to do that one at 250. At 200, I was going to do my first paint-along event if people were interested in doing that. But, you know, plans. I'm not timelining it, and I don't expect to have a certain amount of subscribers at any particular time frame, but I would like to have things planned for when I reach these particular goals. Mostly because I want to have one, you know, I want to reward subscribers for sticking it through with me, but also because I want to wait till there's more people to be involved in certain things. And so, you know, when I reach my first 100 subscribers, that makes it more interesting to do a giveaway. It's not going to be the same, like, 2 people trying to grab for whatever it is I'm giving away. It's a little more special when your name's drawn out of, you know, 20, 30, 50 names than it is, you know, when you're one of 2. I mean, I don't think anybody really turns down free stuff, but I mean, I'm sure there's somebody, but generally speaking, people don't turn down free stuff and could still really enjoy being the one of the 2 people who won. And in all honesty, if I only had 2 people, I'd probably just give them both prizes. But I just want things, I want to celebrate. I want you guys to celebrate with me. So I'm already building for these small goal, exciting things to look forward to. Not to mention, if you really want me to do the paint along and I'm just not quite making it to 200, I'll just encourage you to get your friends to subscribe to me. I will be shameless. But as you can see, I finished the area I was working on, and I'd have to rotate my canvas at this point, which I'm not going to do on the video the way I have this set up right now. It would be awkward for both of us, or all of us. Both of us meaning me and my phone, but all of us being the rest of you once I post this video. So I think I'm going to call it here, but I really do appreciate you guys if you stuck it out this far, for being here to listen to me unload some of what was on my mind. It actually, I already feel like it's helped a little. And I will be getting back to Rococo, I promise, but I'm probably going to finish Sleeping Fox before I worry about picking that one up again. And I'm going to finish Alice, but I'll probably finish Rococo before I do that one. That event's almost done, and at the rate I'm going, I won't finish before the end of the event anyways. I did get a good portion of the way through, more than halfway done. I've got pictures up on my Instagram if you want to check it out. So I really did feel like I got to participate, and that's really what I wanted. I'm less concerned about getting the finish for it. And I still get to see all the, like, pretty images and other people's finishes on Instagram as well, which has also been really fun. But I'm gonna get to it, and then maybe in the next canvas I'll put up a few on my Instagram page, and you guys can pick which one I do next, and save me from being indecisive, and also give you guys a chance to be involved in what you see here on the channel. So yeah, exciting things coming up, and I will try to keep everybody informed of what to expect. But on that note, I'm going to go unwind and try to get some sleep. And I hope you guys, if it's daytime for you, I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. If it's nighttime, I hope you sleep well. And no matter what it is for you, I hope the next part of what you do in your life goes smoothly and you can get some happiness from it. And I'm going to try and do the same. So thank you, and have a good night, guys. I'll see you in the next video.